Hey kids, do you have a problem with your naughty fingers? That is your bad technique. I almost kept a straight face for that. Okay, look, I promise this is about guitar playing. So people talk about today we're talking about what to do with the fingers that aren't working. As I like to say, unemployed musicians get nervous. My mama told me. So, this is more often than not the problem with technique is someone might be playing, let's say, an E minor chord here. I'm capoed at the second fret, and these fingers start going freaking out way over in different directions, or maybe they're curling back here, right? And that's what we call that's excess tension. That's doing more work than you want to do. Right? We always want to have efficient technique, which is to say we want to avoid the work that we should not do. We want to avoid any unnecessary work. So because that's what makes your hands supple and relaxed and easy to get from place to place and move quickly. Because in order to move quickly, you need to be relaxed. So for example, for this E minor chord, I talk about unemployed musicians, and I also talk about, let the ones that aren't working. So if I'm making my E minor chord here, and I've got my first finger at the second fret of the fifth string, and my second finger at the second fret of the fourth string, what to do with these folks? Because maybe when you were a kid, you learned this and you had some bad habits, and now you do this, or you do this, and how to undo that. And so it is slow. And it takes a great deal of time, but mostly what it takes is attention. You just have to pay attention. And you won't see it turn up especially if you have a bad habit that you've had for a long time, you won't see it show up in your playing immediately or even soon. But what you need to do is just slowly work on the habit. And eventually you'll start to notice when you're doing it, when you're playing songs, and be able to, in real time, sort of calm down those naughty fingers that are doing this extra work. But at first, you won't show up in your real playing, but you just have to go to it and pay attention to what you're doing. And it's very simple. What you do is, for example, this chord, this E minor chord, you just release the pressure so that you're not pushing anything, right? And I've got my fingers on the strings, so the strings are muted, but I'm not pushing. And then just very gently push, right, until you start to feel tension in these fingers, these extra fingers, whether they extend or they flex. And then just relax and then go back. And then relax and go back until you can make them. And what I like to say is that, they get nervous. So what I like to do is, especially in the beginning for students, is to give them a networking opportunity. I say, give those unemployed musicians, these unworking third and fourth fingers, they haven't had the same educational opportunities as the first and second fingers. They don't eat food. They don't tie shoes. They really just haven't provided the same opportunities. So in order to kind of even out the score, we just want to give them some attention. And you just go very slowly. Right? Pay attention, just a little bit of pressure, and then put it back, and then put it back. And just let them hang out here, little networking opportunities with the first and second fingers. Maybe next time they'll get the gig, right? If they hang out here and get to know what the situation is and the scene and everything, and they go to this show with the E minor, next time there's another show, oh man, they might get the gig, right? So there you go. Let's look at another chord where you might have some excess tension. Oh, D chords, always. So what does the pinky finger do? What does your pinky finger do? Does it do this? Boo, right? Is it out having tea, right? Or is it, pull way back here? And what I like to say is, hey, let the fourth finger hang out with this third finger. Really these two fingers they're like Irish twins. They can't really do anything without each other, And I have some, and so just let it hang out of there and do the same thing. Release the pressure and then put it back. And then release the pressure and put it back and notice what it's doing. The key thing is to pay attention to this. It's always like that child, that unruly child that just wants attention. That's basically the same thing that's going on here. So we just want to pay attention to it. And I'm just letting it hang out with the third finger so it knows what's up. Yeah. And you just do it very slowly and just for very short amounts of time. 2 minutes and make a little checklist of little technical places that you're working on, and work on 2 minutes a time, a couple of times a day. And it'll probably be some time, but you just have to really be mentally present while you're doing it. It will slowly get better. Okay, remember, if you're on time and in tune, you're okay.